We have Dreaming Nemleria for you today. We have some Sky Striker Hero, and is that Red Eyes Dragon Link? Oh, looks like it is. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Isles content. Now, for those of you that haven't been too familiar with some of the more interesting things, Dreaming Nemleria here got cratered off the face of the market fairly recently. And I don't know if people have just been wanting to try out some different options with this, or if they've thought that this card is just the nuts. But once per turn, during your main phase for the Pendulum effect, you can place one Nemleria, you can use a spell card from your deck or graveyard face up to your field. And if you do, you can add this card to your extra deck face up. Alright, that's probably going to be the most useful effect, but you've also got to remember for this, cannot be normal summon or set, must be special summoned from the extra deck face up by having no cards in your extra deck, and you can only special summon one of these once per turn. And if this card is special summoned for every 3 of your face down banished cards, you can banish up to 1 card your opponent's field and or graveyard face down, shuffle 1 of your face down banished cards into the deck for each banished card banished this way. But the biggest thing is, you have a 15 card extra deck, which means extra can mill 6. You can punt things off with the tower and banish 2 face down cards from your extra deck face down to add 2 of those level 10 beast monsters with different names from your deck to your hand. And then I don't even really care about anything else that this card does, but basically you can not special summon from the extra deck the turn you activate this effect except for pendulums. And if a Nemleria monster or monster you control be destroyed by battle card effect, and you have the Dreaming Nemleria face up in your extra deck, you can banish 1 face down card from your extra deck instead. So you're going to search for, you basically, Coquette and Orly are here, and you're basically going to deploy these little minions so that you can do your thing. Because these are just free level 10 specials that don't lock you, by the way. I think that's by far the most hilarious thing about this deck. And then, of course, so one little downside to this is banish 2 to add 2 level 10 beast. This was a fairy. I don't know why they made realized a fairy. But outside of that, to be honest with you, to see a deck like this actually functioning and winning a first place out here, I think is amazing. And I mean, yeah, this is another deck that can take advantage of Shifter. Yeah, you also can do Fairy Tale Luna to obviously toggle into another Luna and set up a bounce of some sort off of the opponent's field. Trust me when I say this, the spot removal aspects that this actually gives you is pretty good. Because, I mean, you can't normal this. I mean, your only normal is going to be dedicated to a Fairy Tale Luna at that point. So it's fine. Also, what you're sticking in your extra deck, I mean, are just gonna, maybe you might want to, all real things, to be honest with you here, you might want to play more Zeuses and more Juggernauts and things like that, because you don't want to really lose those. But I do think it is cute here that we are doing some very interesting little extra deck aspect plays down here. But nonetheless, cool to see that this pile actually got a first place. What else we got back here? We have some Sky Striker back here for you as well. Now, I'll be completely honest with you. I've pretty much considered Striker to be pretty much down and out. But with some particular limitations fairly recently, with Magna Hut getting kicked off to the curve, guess what? That means that well, not to say that other Bestials won't necessarily exist in the format, but that does mean that, you know, Ray is a little bit more safe in the graveyard now. You know, you can kind of have her be reliably dumped and not have to worry about the prowl of the Bestials out here kind of doing their thing. So that's one very big thing to kind of consider. One other big thing I liked about this list is you are seeing Gravekeeper's Inscription here. Now, depending on how your localized environment or wherever you are playing is kind of doing its thing, you are seeing, you know, a card like this can actually be useful. There's a reason why TCG Player was pushing this as a card that was maybe something that you should pick up to make sure that you can go, hey, you know, maybe there is some sort of application here. And you also do see Shared Ride down here. This card is one of the more interesting little tech choices that you can do. Because, I mean, your opponent's just going to look at you and they're going to go, wow, I'm really glad that you just wanted to continuously get all of these free chicken nuggies throughout the course of the turn. Yeah, it's actually really good. Also, Thrust and Talents is also one of the major reasons why you can actually see this deck competing. It's also why you see this deck actually playing the Herald of Abyss in here as well, because if you do play against the Cat in the Hat deck, Mr. Purely, you can go ahead and search for the Herald of the Abyss and then go ahead and deconstruct the cat, and then you'll probably be able to at least continue to play the game to some degree at that point. So that's one big thing that we have really going for us here with Striker, but I like this. This is not too bad. Hey, it's Hero. Now, full disclaimer here before I look at this. A lot of these Hero decks, they feel pretty much the same. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the development of Heroes, but let's be honest here for a second. If you're expecting some crazy 800 IQ innovations, they don't really tend to exist anymore. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, I think the craziest thing that happened to this deck was the Favor Contact with the Elemental Hero Neos kind of getting splashed in. But, I mean, you tend to see the same things. You see 42 to 46 cards typically. This build's coming in at 45, which is fine. You are siding very, 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 very strong here to at least make sure that, whatever bad matchups you're going to run into are rounded out. And now that we no longer have to deal with a Rise Heart, we can actually bring in Forbidden Droplets again. And you do see that pretty major shift here where these decks can now go second a little bit more reliably. Now, with that being said, I mean, 45 cards is fine. I think most of the ratios in here are fine. The Droll and Lockbird. If you really want to cut it, you can even go down to 42. I don't recommend it. I think that you want this card. I think that you want cards in this deck that are going to help you out. Especially with 45 cards, you have 12 cards in here that will do their thing. So those are the Ashes, the Drolls, the Droplets, and the Imperms. And then you board in effectively whatever else that you need. This is actually pretty solid, actually. I think that for the hero builds, I like the ratios that this one was trying to do. Alright, what else we got back here? Okay. So this is a take on Dragon Link here, sporting off Red Eyes in here. And we're going kind of down a rabbit hole here because I see that we are playing a Red Eyes Fusion. Now, my only problem about Red Eyes Fusion is it has one of the most ridiculous conditions for a card that never actually really needed to exist. And it's you can't normal summon or special summon other monsters that turn you activate this effect. Now, host for the rest, this turn's card would probably be absurd at the end of the day, but if you do actually, it's hard to see this, it's going to be a turn 2, turn 3 kind of follow-up, I feel like. And at that point in time, if you haven't really set up and done your Dragon Link-esque combo that you're attempting to do here, I feel like you're just going to kind of set yourself up into a bad position. Now, once again, I mean, because you are playing the backbone of the Dragon Link package in here, you can see those slightly more consistent results, all right? You have that extra level of consistency that is going to allow you the chance to kind of push yourself over the edge and do your thing. Also, shout out to, Meteor Black Comet Dragon actually being one of the little more cute aspects and things that you can actually have work out for you. Now, outside of that, build is definitely super fun. I think if you are trying to do some sort of Red Eyes build, this might actually be something that seems a little bit more enjoyable at the end of the day. So honestly, give this a shot. You might actually have a little bit of fun here. And our last little deck here is, wow, we're playing a Splash of Dynamorphia package in our Labyrinth deck to punish our opponents. Now, you don't tend to see a lot of this. It was an early concept in the OCG, and then we've seen it pop up maybe once or twice in the TCG, where, obviously Rekstrom is stupid good, or you've seen the more Dynamorphia heavy builds out here with a splash of the Lady Labyrinths as monsters to kind of punish your opponent, because, I mean, setting as many trap cards as you actually can usually typically works out very, very strongly. Now, we don't have a side deck for this build. I can imagine, Nibiru's and things like hand traps and things that you normally don't see in this build would be cards that I would be bringing in here to kind of edge out and make sure that, we're able to kind of do our thing at the end of the day. Outside of that, the furniture ratios are fine. I think this is fine because this is just a very splash package. You're not trying to get too heavy on the dedication of this. And, I mean, it does prove that, once again, you can kind of put in a little bit of spice into your list and actually have it work out for you. So, not too bad. So what do you guys think about these lists? Please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.